So what you ought to do in LA is instead of giving guns to all the gangs, I think what the gangs ought to do is start a revolution, but I think they ought to start an information revolution. That's what I think all of you gang members out there should do. I think you should get rid of your guns and buy video cameras, and I think you ought to have an information revolution. I think you ought to document all of the things that you're talking about and worried about, and the police brutalities and things like that, and I think you ought to make that information accessible to the whole world, and I think that would be the revolution, and I think that would be the way to make major political changes.
Explain everybody what this is and who you guys are. At the end, right here. This is your wonderful neighborhood. Acércate tantito para poder oír. You guys live in the Pico Union area.
Okay, that's Chuco, this is Sneaks, and I'm Listo.
Crow boy.
Yeah, and I'm from Burlington. We're all from Burlington, crazy Mexicans.
Yeah.
That's the homegrown. La mousy. See? So what?
So let me ask you a question. What kind of recreation do you guys have here? When you were raised, where did you go? What did you do?
Well, before they used to have like a pretty good program with Team Post, but like,
Where they from? Throw the sign.
huh?
Where they from?
We know where they're from.
There you go. Ah, he's got a car.
What is it?
Hey.
They're homeway right there. Like, so then they could do something better, you know.
Have you guys ever thought of organizing yourselves? You're very many of you. There's a lot of you, and you have a lot of strength, and you're young, and you have strong willpower. You can get together. Have you ever thought about it, of organizing, like maybe with a little guidance to organize?
But it's not easy. Like,
we know we're gangbangers, and they're gonna say, oh, these are just low legs.
So you mean people think that you only have one side, which is the bad side? They don't think that you also have feelings and aspirations and hopes? Well, do you have those?
we do, everybody
You should
got
let
them.
people know that. Sometimes they don't. This is a good chance to let people know. Wait.
Always over there.
Do I get paid for this? Do I get paid for this?
For coming out of it?
No, that's great. So anyway, this is a good chance to tell people that you guys do have, hopes and feelings, and you worry about your younger brothers. Some guys were telling me that.
Yeah.
So let the people know what you feel.
All we need is like a youth center that, to keep the kids busy. Because, I don't know, I don't want to see, my friends. I don't have no little brothers. I have nephews. I don't want to see my nephews gangbang, going to jail like my friends do and I do. So, it's better for them, and it's better, for the parents, because, a lot of the little kids, all they do, like his little brothers, they like see us do, do this and do that, and they we're like role models to them,
Yeah.
and like, I don't know, I guess like if they would have like a youth center and they could spend all their day right there.
And they know you guys are doing it for them?
Yeah, they could, they could wake up and say, oh, maybe this is better. But a lot of little kids, they want to like join and, kick back with us, but we tell them, nah, get away. Because, we don't really associate with younger guys than 13 years of age. They gotta be over like 14, 15.
De todos modos está escuchando.
Se va el micrófono para allá, no se oye nada.
Sí, está en gran sensibilidad.
Anyway, okay. I got lost over here. Okay, what if you guys start like with something small, like one room?
Well, that's how Francis started.
Yeah.
Well, she's still there.
And open certain hours a day, just.
That would keep us busy for doing another stuff.
Yeah, and then you could be
Positive
working
thing.
on your bodies, you know.
See,
and
but
then
like we have a part, but they don't really pay attention to us.
They don't offer.
Yeah.
What do they have any of you gone over there to see what they have?
We used to go. Yeah.
So what happened?
They like, you know how like when you know you're not wanted, they don't like.
You don't,
They
you
don't
don't,
Like they don't tell you,
Yeah.
they don't
You
tell
don't-
you like
okay,
come
like,
here and do
encourage you.
this and why don't you lift weights or play basketball here or nothing. They just used to
It's
mind
right
their own
there.
business.
You
And
do
I
whatever
mean
you want.
I'm not prejudiced or anything, but there's like a halfway house in front of the park, and there's a lot of black people right there. And the people that work at the park are black, so they
pay
rather
more attention
to them than to us.
To us, because
Well, whether it's true or not, that's how you feel. So that's your reality.
That's what
you
we
know?
see.
That's what you see. That's what you feel. You know. So I understand. But what would happen if all of a sudden, like for example, tell us you talked to the guys from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Did that inspire you at all, or what did you feel about that?
It made us think a little bit more about what we're doing and what we're supposed to do. 'Cause what they're doing is a positive thing, and what we're doing is kind of negative. But we don't have any help. Nobody wants to help us.
Well, what if maybe one or two people helped you, but you put in a lot of energy yourself to help yourself?
We're down. Up to.
Okay, now the camera's a witness, right?
Yeah.
Are you down to like sit down and make a plan? Because I'll help you.
Yeah.
You know, but see, I have a hard time dealing with a lot of the powers that be, but I can deal with you guys, and together we can go and petition. Like yesterday, we went to Hollenbeck, and you saw that was a great reception, I think.
Yeah.
They want to like help us out a little bit, say, okay, show us what you want to do. We'll go check the place, get a place. They even said we'll give you some stuff to start off with, some basic weights. I think that's good. And, we'll start very humbly.
It's better than what we have now, which is nothing.
That's right. Would you guys take care of it? I mean, to make sure that.
Well, we always, he scratches my back, I scratch his.
Yeah.
That's the way it is around
But be responsible.
Yeah,
like you can't all be there at the same time. Make sure somebody's in charge.
Yeah, that's how we are.
You know. So, would you like to try that? Maybe we'll just go for it.
We don't have anything else to do.
So, what else did you think about the guys from Mexico as far as what they're doing and everything? Do you think that can be done here, or is it different?
In a way, yes.
In a way, it could be done. But
About the gang stuff
yeah,
that
it's like kind of like a
Reunite us.
Huh?
reunite gangs.
It's
You don't think that could ever happen?
Nah, I can't. It's like, okay, let's say you're from another gang, and I'm from Lincoln. Let's say I kill your brother, and you're gonna come and kill me.
But
right?
that was happening there too, you know.
But see, they're not gonna understand.
But it's
like,
not as powerful as it is
here.
There's shootings, there's
Over there's really
drugs.
like fighting. Right here it's not. It's just trigger happy.
So here you have the drug problem. Also, that's a big money investment, and people are fighting for the corners if they want their particular corner and everything. So there's money involved in that, right? So,
Everything's money.
yeah.
But we don't let them. If you've noticed from Bonnie Bray on that way they sell.
Yeah.
They don't sell what we kick back at because
Yeah.
we run them out.
That's good. That's good.
We don't let them. And then
They don't get all
when we see them doing drugs right there in front, right there where we're at, like shooting up and basing, we like tell them, hey man, get out of here. And they like, all right, but they respect what we're trying to do, because we see little kids there, and we don't want them to be seeing that, and then ladies pass by, and then look, if they see them, they're gonna think that because we're there, we do that too.
We're doing
Yeah.
the
So
same
they're
thing.
like, that's even better for us. They're like,
That's the way people see us. Drug addicts, murderers,
Rapists.
rapists, people that low life. There you go.
Thieves.
Thieves.
Well, let me
They don't
ask
see
you a
the-
question. How could you let people know that you're different?
For instance, that you send me.
Yeah.
if we could
Like what we're doing right now, we're asking somebody to actually help.
Yeah.
But everybody tell us, well, why don't you get a job, go to school? Talk is cheap. It's easier saying than doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right now we'll shift to Spanish a little bit. Oye, vamos a hablar tantito en español un segundo. vamos a hablar en español para que las personas que vean la tele en español también pueda, vamos a presentar, este es Morgan de México, del Consejo Popular Juvenil. Y nomás para explicarte tantito, ahorita estaban hablando de que como aquí en verdad no tienen nada y que ellos mismos no permiten que vendan drogas por todas esas zonas, y que no, das cuenta de esta calle para allá sí venden, pero de las de ellos no venden y no se están ahí echando drogas porque ellos no lo permiten a los niños chiquitos y están preocupados para sus hermanitos, no quieren un centro y todo y hablaban de que ustedes los inspiraron a ellos, ¿no? Pero ellos creen que aquí la cosa de la pandilla no puede parar, que ya tiene que seguir porque hermanos matan a hermanos de otros y todo, pero que sí les gustó lo del centro y quieren comenzar, pero ¿tienes algo que decir a eso?
Pues yo creo que lo más importante es lo que están haciendo, que están cuidando su propio barrio y que si no podemos tener una comunicación, es decir, ellos con otros barrios, con otras pandillas.
My belief is these cameras are part of a huge revolution. I think up through the last several years we have been, because of books like 1984 and Orwell and like that, we've been really paranoid about the Big Brother is watching you. And I think that was a very real fear. One thing that's nice about life, though, and if we can continue on and keep going, what happens is that we solve that problem. And it's my belief that with this video camera that you have and that you're using, is that little brother is now watching you. So what's happened is that we've taken the information and the equipment out of the hands of the authorities, and we've made it a democratic process. So you can be involved in this. And there's something about running the video camera and asking the questions that's very intimate. Like even it starts asking for something to be a bit longer because what you're doing is that you're also, your video...
And we're trying to really break out into new ground here with it's called Camnet, the camcorder network, and it's all like the 90s camcorder generated imagery. And we have come up with this deal with this cable network where we're broadcasting 24 hours a day, 2 weeks out of every month, and they are letting us sell advertising. So rather than being under the wing of PBS and
very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. These guys are also from the same Pico Union neighborhood, from Burlington neighborhood, and they have seen what's happened with no projects for kids, and they have something to say about how they think this one could help. Okay, so this is Doper, and it's his birthday. Happy birthday! Thank you. All right, yay, happy birthday! Yeah. All right, why don't you sing to him, eh?
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, he's introducing himself right now.
Well, hi, first of all, I've lived out my life in Pico Union neighborhood, you know, and I never noticed anything, you know, any help from the government. But until Helen came around and, you know, things started to get better. We started cleaning graffiti around, and it would be nice if we had a center, you know. Because a lot of little kids, all they do is when they run around, they just look at us, you know, how we gangbang, and that's what they take us as idols. And that's not right. If they had sports to be in, because our nearest high school is Belmont, and that's out of the community, you know. They have to walk all the way over there, and they don't go for sports there. If we had something in the neighborhood, like in Torman Park, that would be, you know, perfect for everybody.
Do you think that the older guys can get organized enough that if there is a place, you guys can run it amongst yourselves?
Yeah.
That you don't need some outsider, you can keep the control of the hours and make sure they
We got a lot of people in our neighborhood, a lot of older people, like Gloria, like yourself, you know, that they could tell us, as well as, you know, we could tell the little kids and everybody, we could keep it under control.
But you guys organize.
Yeah,
like,
we could organize
help
ourselves.
from the outside, but you guys run organize it, run it.
We've done it before, you know, but all we need is the money. I mean, we're not, you know, a rich community or nothing like
Well,
that.
we're not talking money. We're talking about you guys getting energy. We'll get a room. Somebody else is donating. They already offered us. Hollenbeck Youth Center already organized. Oye, dale tantito, because that noise is going to be. The Hollenbeck Youth Center already offered us some machinery for weights. We could start with that, and then work up to. You guys like boxing? We could start with
Boxing gym, basketball.
Just with the basics, but basketball is already a big thing. You know, like if a basic small room for boxing and all of that. Just start small.
Yeah, we could take care of that.
All right, so what do you have to say also? Introduce yourself.
This is Droopy.
It's Droopy.
Well, the only thing I just could say would just be out the community so we could make something up out of Pico Union, like a gym or something for all of us, so all of us could change.
That's all we need is a little bit of help.
Yeah.
That's all.
And you guys, you think the guys will go to it? You think they'll respect it?
Yeah. Something besides.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because it'll be yours, right?
I mean,
Put
yeah,
it together.
we run the neighborhood, so like we tell everybody what to do. If we don't tell them, if we tell them not to do something, they won't. You know? And if anything does happen, it comes down on us, and we're the ones that take care of it sooner or later.
And they could close down the center if something happens. Like if guys come hang around there and all of a sudden there's dope or something like that. People bring in.
All we need is a chance.
You have to like keep it clean in that area, you know.
Well, that's the thing it'll be, you know, right there in that area. We won't let no one hang around there. Just the little kids and whatever they want to do, they want to get their shit straight, whatever.
You guys protect them like big brothers.
We do.
You do already.
I mean, we don't encourage them to get into our neighborhood.
Yeah.
If they get in, it's off of their decision, you know.
Yeah.
But even though they look at us, what we do, and whether people like it or not, they do.
Well, you're role models, for good or
what I
for
said.
bad, you know?
It's not our fault. Like I said, if we would have a center, if they would see one of us go up to be somebody, they would want to be like us, you know, themselves.
We would have a hand in it, but I'm pretty sure there would be other people to run it.
No, like who?
I don't know. Maybe they'll make some kind of board. Maybe I might be on the board. You know?
What board? Who's they?
I don't know.
I wanna
Whoever's going to
know.
run the program, you know?
But it's your program.
It's our program. Well, then I guess we're going to have to run it.
Check this out. If
We've been
you
offered
guys
this a lot of
get
times,
no,
but it
no,
never comes true.
outside people. We're talking about you guys. If you guys get hold of
We ain't even thinking of that because we've been always told we're gonna have one and we never do have one, so we don't rely on that. We just rely on making money, shooting people, and other stuff that comes along the way.
But that's other people,
We don't
right?
think about the center because we've been offered so many times that it's just a joke to us when it comes up.
That's true. I agree with you
A
there.
lot of my
That's
homeboys
the
think
other
that it's
side.
never gonna happen.
I'm saying.
That's why we ain't thinking about, well, I'm gonna be such and such in charge of this or in charge of that, or I want this in my center, because all of us thinking this is just bullshit. You know, because
Yeah,
we don't
time and
have it.
time.
All East LA has like 20 or 30 of them, and you know, we
South
don't even
Central,
got
you
one.
know, they
Why
got
do-
Challengers Club and all that.
Why
We
don't you
have
guys
any.
have it?
No one gives a fuck about us.
You know, Pico Union, it already has a reputation. You know, what we have in our neighborhood is drug sales. That's all, you know, people are worried about. Our community is nothing but a drugs.
So then all the younger guys don't have a chance.
If they go out of the neighborhood, as long as they don't hang around in the neighborhood,
What
they
I
go
mean
to
is
other
that-
sides.
Somewhere in the back.
All they're gonna be is
People have
VRs.
labeled them already, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but they're just gonna be runners, just running drugs for other people. And it's gonna start up like that. Our community had the most gang-related killings last year. From 89 to 90 to 91 and to 92, we had the most killings and Watts, Camnet, and all that.
So don't you think that's more reason that you guys need something?
Yeah, but we don't get it. We always try, and a lot of people come and tell us, yeah, we're gonna help you on all this, but it just
Well, why don't we
doesn't come
think of a new idea? So we realize, okay, they're not helping us. All right, so why not, like, a lot of the guys just met a bunch of guys from Mexico that had the same problem, and nobody helped them. And they helped themselves, the CPJ, right? They helped themselves. But they came here to try to share with you guys is that you don't need outsiders. You don't need the government. You don't need what. You do need a bridge, okay? Once you guys get your act together, you do need a bridge, a couple of people that are run. Like yesterday, he gave me a phone call. He says, call the Hollenbeck Centers, just what we want, go check it out. Okay, we went to check it out. A couple of the guys went. It just happened that we ran into somebody there that had known me from some project I did before, and I invited them, and they gave us open arms. He said, look, we'll give you equipment. We just got a whole bunch of equipment from Arnold Schwarzenegger. We'll share it with you guys. You know, we'll help you set up. We'll even help you evaluate it. Just get hold of a room or a place that you guys can go to, and not 24 hours. It could be open only like 8 hours a day, and we'll go and check it out. And once we see it's there, it could be a church, it could be a room, it could be an empty place, and then they'll bring over the equipment, and you guys run the hours. You
We don't
guys.
have no place.
Yeah, nobody's gonna give us no place.
How do you know that? Didn't some guys get hold of a place at church that was going to offer it for GED or something like that, and they said that they'd offer it?
That was Brother Steve. He has something going.
Well, I just saw Brother Steve a few minutes ago. Do you think he would help? Could we
Yeah,
talk to him?
or we could talk to the guy that owns the building right there where Hodges is.
I mean, even while it's empty right now, you know what I mean?
It's pretty big and it's empty.
Well, why don't we
It's
go
been
do
empty
that?
for almost a year.
But first we'll have a meeting. You see, you guys have to show enthusiasm because I can't do it on my own, right? I tried to get money from high above. I didn't do so well myself last time. My heart was just as broken just as you guys because I was running saying, oh, we got this. And then I got disappointed too, right? So I'm in the same ball as you guys. So I'm saying let's do it ourselves. We'll sit down, get a little bit organized. You guys make a meeting. We'll come. I already have some good ideas. Yesterday, the guy from Hollenbeck gave us good ideas. I wrote them all down. He says, you can have it by next month. Just get one room.
Who's gonna give up that room?
We can look around. There's one room. And if we can't find a room in Pico Union, then we get big time. We go to the press and we say, we can't find one room in Pico Union. What's going on? And we just go heavy to the press or whatever and say, what is going on? And embarrass the hell out of these people.
You're willing to go
How
out
can
with
it be
us.
such a big
We're down to
community?
do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm upset because for 4 years, everything I've done has been blocked. Everything you've done has been blocked. But we've got to do it ourselves because we can't count on outside people.
Nobody else is going to do it.
Nobody cares about it.
But we can start simple. One room. I know we can get it, all right? But I'm not going to do it by myself. I really need you guys to back me up. If you say you're going to be at a meeting, even if it's a couple of you guys
I'll
that
be
you
out of meeting.
assign,
That's no problem.
because then I get energy to want to do it. You know what I mean? If I get them, there's nobody, I don't get energy. It's like, oh, screw this, you know. But we can get one room. That could be our focus, all right? So, like, next week, do you want to make a meeting? I mean, really, I'm taking this because we're going to show how this is happening. This is like our law. Show how it's happening. And then we'll be able to see our growth. I really feel that in a month and a half, we can actually have equipment. I just feel it.
It's just a matter of getting the place. I mean, if the people told you they would donate all the equipment
all this
needed, I mean, that's good.
Well, from now on, let's just all start looking for.
Yeah, look around, ask on doors. Tell them that we only wanted a certain few hours.
We'll find one. It has to be
Tell me you want it open from 3 in the afternoon to 9 at night. Or shorter hours, whatever's good. But you guys have to make sure that there's some of you there in charge at all times. Even if you rotate an hour at a time, you guys have to put energy into it. I can't do that at night. You guys have to run it. Make sure the equipment's there, that people don't bring dope in there, people that don't respect what you're doing, that they may just come and be hot shot or something. People respect it. And then once you get the respect, you know what the guy from Hollenbeck said? The next step would be boxing, and you go next step. Hey, where's Chuco? Hey, Chuco! Ven tantito.
The more you down, the more you got. Hey, you guys don't want American sneaks here? I was already talking too much at the end.
Come here. Just right here for a second. Report to these guys what happened yesterday. What kind of reception you got yesterday, and what they said.
We went to the Hollenbeck Youth Center, and they, we talked to them and we told them what situation we were in, and that we needed help, and they're like, they wanted to help us. They'll donate things for us.
They're expensive, we'll check it out.
And energy.
You have all these people saying that this and this is gonna happen and all that, and then at the end we end up getting fucked.
But if they don't see us move, they ain't gonna.
Well, that's the thing. If we move and everything, is it really gonna happen, or are you just getting a high hole?
They're doing it.
We have to put our
all we have to do is just get a spot.
We have to put our
Just get a spot. The people already promised her.
Let's say we put our spot. Come on. That chick Gloria, she's been telling us so many
We're
shit.
not gonna get it down with her.
But Gloria,
that's the thing.
But I mean, también if we want something going for us, we have to start it on our own.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking from what I've seen.
And if it fails, look at yourself.
Well, they're giving us one more chance.
We have to start on our own. We don't really have to depend on them, because if not, we're not.
Nobody else gonna give it to us. So if we don't do it, ain't nobody else gonna help us.
Yeah, but then we end up doing some shit. They end up fucking us over.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Are you willing, one more time, you've never tried it with you guys doing it, that it's your center. You've always tried it with somebody else doing it for you. Are you willing, just for once, to try it one more time? And if it fails, everybody can say, okay, at least we know that we tried, and that was the last,
More chance.
But that's the thing, nobody wants to go say, fuck, we did this and this and that, and for what? For nothing.
What do you mean for
That's what she's saying. It's gotten to the point to where it's gotten to be more than that. I mean, the people have already, if we had a place right now and we went back and told the people from Hollenbeck, here's the address, deliver all the equipment to right here.
They'll go down, check it out, okay,
We gotta take care of that. That's why they went yesterday.
We got a break right there. Not only that, he says we'll send trainers down there to check out what you're doing. And
There's a place at the park right there that they have a room that they used to inside the park next to the
we're talking
gym.
about that.
Yeah, they used to pass out lunches there in the summers, but I guess it's empty. That's why that room is pretty big, so you guys can try to talk to the Parks and Recreation. You know why? Because we could tell it. Like we stood away from the park already. Like the homeboys don't ride.
But I think they ought to start an information revolution. That's what I think all of you gang members out there should do. I think you should get rid of your guns and buy video cameras, and I think you ought to have an information revolution. I think you ought to document all of the things that you're talking about and worried about, and the police brutalities and things like that, and I think you ought to make that information accessible to the whole world. And I think that would be the revolution, and I think that would be the way to make major political changes.
What you don't know won't hurt you. Each year, over 5 billion pounds of toxic chemicals are released into the air in the United States. These emissions cause over 2,000 cancer deaths a year. No news is good news. Our nation is littered with over 300,000 hazardous waste sites, which leak poisons into the water supplies of 120 million Americans. Ignorance is bliss. 3 out of 5 Americans live in an area where the air is contaminated beyond federal health standards. Chances are the air, the water, or the land where you live, is endangering the health of you and your family. In 1986, a law was passed that gives you the right to know if the area in which you live is contaminated by toxic chemicals. Wouldn't you like to know?
Doing good to others, well, you might say it's the golden rule. Doing exactly to others what you'd want them to do to you is really the basis of a personal religion. I don't attend churches or temples. I don't have a structured religious life, but I think if you follow the golden rule, you are really living what religion wants you to do.
There's always new commercials, and the commercials are more, you watch more commercials than a show. And it's like, once I was at a friend's house and I'm like, I wish you could fast forward the commercials.
I know, there's like 20 minutes of commercials and like 10 minutes of programs. So it's really annoying because, you know, you're at this really good part of a TV show and it cuts to a really stupid ad or something, you know? Like zestfully clean or something. Yeah. You know, it's really annoying.
Yeah.
Pat, Michelle, tell me the coyote story. What happened?
Well, one morning I had just come back from dropping Pat off at the airport on a business trip, and I was on the telephone talking to our insurance agent, and I had let both of our small dogs, we had 2 small Shih Tzus, outside to go to the bathroom like we normally let them run around here, and all of a sudden I heard just a scream, and I looked out the window. I was standing right there on the cordless phone, and Coyote had jumped down off of that hill behind you and grabbed the smallest dog, the little female, and took her and started running. And my other dog jumped on the back of him and was, you know, trying to rustle her loose and things. I dropped the phone and took off chasing her down that little pathway through our backyard.
So right over here?
Yeah, she just jumped right off that hill and took off down this pathway, and I guess leaped over the back hill and took off.
Wow.
So we went, I went screaming, screaming, yelling as hard as I could, throwing things, trying to get it to drop the dog, but of course it didn't. And some teenage kids saw me. I was out there screaming, and they stopped, and the lady next door, her maid, came out and helped, and we all went up, traipsing through the hills, but it was...
So did you ever see the dog again?
No, we never found any trace of the dog. I called animal control right away, and they explained to me that probably the dog was killed immediately, so there was no need to really... have to go through the nightmares of thinking she was tortured up there, because that's a terrible thing. The screams were just something. And of course, my other dog was terrified. And after that, we couldn't let him out.
Yeah, the poodle doesn't have much chance against a coyote now.
None at all. Especially in a fenced yard. There's nowhere for the dog to go.
But what makes his dog more valuable than a coyote? Why would you trap the coyote?
Rather than his dog, because if the problem was just his dog, and they were going to take only his dog, I would tend to, just tell him, well, naturally, I try to educate everybody, tell them be careful with their pets, fence their yard, keep pet food in, and so on. But this coyote already found out it can take his cat easier than it can a wild animal run down a hole or up a tree, and is very good in the coyote's terrain. So now that it took his cat, it's back after his dog, which means after his dog, it's his neighbor's dog.
Okay, so the coyote will just, once it starts chasing domestic animals, that's pretty much it, huh?
Yeah.
That's its new diet.
That's its new diet, if at all possible. And it'll snowball on you. What you get is you get a few brazen coyotes in an area that find this out, and then you just can't rehabilitate them. They just steadily are after domestic pets, and there's really no stopping them. So those are the ones you have to trap.
Well, they can't catch roadrunners. I saw that in the cartoons.
Don't you believe it on a cartoon?
The roadrunner always outwits the coyote.
Only in the movies. Wait. There's the dog. There's the dog we're trying to save right now.
Hey, this is the little guy, huh? The coyotes are after him, huh? Yeah, he looks like a meal.
Yeah.
One bite, huh?
That's a perfect meal right there.
He's just one little gulp.
Yeah, they would take that dog and probably have it, they would destroy it in a matter of a minute, you know. It doesn't take long at all. The dog, or a lot of domestic pets are, you know, they think they're gonna fight, like they would fight another dog because it's a canine.
Right.
And the coyote just wants to kill. That's a meal. He just comes right out at him to kill him. He's not gonna fight and roll around and snap at him. He tries to open him up and eat him right away.
So would a coyote, would that satisfy a coyote for one day, or is that just breakfast?
Yeah, that would satisfy them. They're not, you know, they're really a good animal, and they're doing what it takes to survive. We're building and we're crowding them in. And so, you know, they're not out there to kill things and leave it. Anytime you see a coyote kill and they didn't take it, something chased them off.
Yeah.
Because they only kill what they're gonna eat.
So this is where you place some bait?
Yeah, I put some bait there last week, Friday, and it's gone now.
That means they've been here and they've been checking it out.
That means something's taking it, and then chances are from the droppings all around, it's coyotes. We're getting activity in here.
You hope he never catches one, huh?
I hope not.
That's good. At least, you know, she tells the truth. I like
Of course I do. I'm straightforward. As a rule, I don't like trappers. You seem to be a likable fellow. But I can't stand trappers. I don't have any use for. I have no use for trappers.
So how do you explain Louis? Because
He's a
pretty
nice fellow.
guy.
I'm surprised that he takes this kind of profession. He should be doing something else.
Well,
what do you think he should be
more
doing?
like me, though, I can monitor it if I'm in this profession. It's gonna happen, so I can monitor it and make sure we do it as humanely as possible.
And that's the way I feel too, Lila. If it has to be done,
Well,
Will you give me that
doesn't-
camcorder? Throw me just one.
It has to be done. It should never be done. Sneaking up and making all kinds of sneaky motions, catching a unsuspecting, beautiful wild creature. I think it's awful. What are you doing?
I'm taping.
No. All this nonsense I've been
Not all
jamming?
of it. It's been going
I
on
hope
off and
not.
on. Yeah.
Oh, God.
What nonsense? I think it's fascinating.
No.
Here you have Louis, the good trapper. Lila, the good defender of wildlife. I mean, the drama.
We make a team, Lila.
Yeah, we do. We're just on the opposite ends, and we get along fine.
Good.
We're friendly and not hostile.
Yeah, so what do you think?
I'm never hostile with my enemies.
I'm not your enemy.
Is Louis your enemy?
Well, any trapper is my enemy.
Oh, even
not
a good
Louis, one? Not Louis personally. He's very likable person.
So what do you think he should be doing other than trapping?
I'm a good dog trainer, Lila. Should I
Saving wild creatures.
She did have a good time. Fun bringing her places.
Becky, you're going home.
On June 1st, 1992, world leaders from almost every nation on the planet will converge on Rio de Janeiro for the first ever Earth Summit. Held by the United Nations, these leaders will sign treaties that will determine the future of our global environment. At stake is the entire human race. Problem is, our own president may not participate. The only way of assuring that he will attend is for him to know that he has the full support of the American people now.
Call 1-800-LEAD-RIO.
This is a condom.
It is a simple and inexpensive device.
When it is worn by boys and men during sexual activities, it can help to prevent sexually transmitted diseases such as VD, gonorrhea, and AIDS.
It will also help to prevent unwanted pregnancies.
These are some facts that many people would rather you were not told about.
So don't wait to be told. Find out more for yourself.
Throughout the world,
people have been struggling against darkness. They have been fighting to achieve a cornerstone of all basic freedoms, the right to vote. In some places, they have been successful. In others, the light of freedom is yet to shine. But in one nation, which has been a symbol of political freedom to the rest of the world for over 200 years, a shadow has fallen. The United States of America has the lowest voter participation rate of any major democratic country in the world. During our last presidential election, less than half of those eligible exercised their right to vote. Are half of our citizens really unconcerned with social inequality, rising taxes, government scandal, and environmental destruction? Or has the shadow of apathy caused us to take democracy's greatest privilege for granted? Step out of the shadows, register, vote.
This is why I'm trapping. They're going to build more homes, more people are going to come in, take up more space, and bring in more domestic pets. This right here is probably not quite a mile from where we just set the traps. And I'm sure this is some of the reason we're getting the activity where we set the traps, because we ran them out of, how many acres do we have here? I guess at 50 acres if we go to the top of this hill from where they're building. We come into the coyotes' territory and we complain about it.
We didn't catch it. We didn't get dug up either, though.
So it's still set, huh? Maybe all the activity kept them out of here. Looks like they got the trash, though, down there.
Yeah, see, well, that's what happens. A lot of days on trash day, they don't bother. I mean, they're...
Why bother? Because they know there's trash. Looks like you got one.
Yeah.
You think he's one of the troublemakers, Louis?
Yeah, I'm sure he is. He wouldn't be down this low if he wasn't. See how he's fairly calm in the trap? He doesn't look like he's in pain. The only reason he was thrashing around some, naturally, because we walked up and we're taking pictures of him. Other than that, he would be hiding in the bush, calm.
How does this make you feel?
It's a necessary evil. I'm glad I did my job. I mean, I believe it to be an art to be able to catch these animals. I'm happy with myself for being skillful enough to catch the animal. I don't feel good about destroying the animal. Yeah. What justifies it in my heart and in my mind is the pets I saved. I perhaps saved, who knows, 10, 20 cats. I might have to take a life and save 10.
Mm-hmm. Are there too many coyotes because there's no more mountain lions?
There's not many coyotes.
There's not many coyotes?
Of course not. There's nothing too much of wildlife left anymore. What can it be? People took away their habitat.
So you're saying that's a myth?
Of course it's a myth. It justifies what they're doing. Justifies
I'm gonna
tracking.
talk to you. I'll be right back.
So what's the future going to bring if we keep on this road?
Just in zoos. There won't be any animals left. Just in zoos.
How long do you think it would take for that to happen?
Not so long.
How long do you think, Lila?
I'm not going to give you dates.
A couple generations, maybe?
Yeah, couple of generations.
That's a sad thought.
But it's a reality. You see, on everywhere you look around, they're exterminating wildlife. Everywhere. Do you want some of my literature?
So you know what kind of sax this is?
Alto?
Alto, that's right. Gosh, this guy is great. Do you like the alto sound?
Yeah.
Should I play something else for you?
Okay.
What would you like? Something fast or slow?
Fast.
How fast? That's it. Fast enough?
That was great. Thank you.
Well, thank you, all of you.
Richard, this isn't a joke, right? This is a real car.
This is a real car?
And there's no gas. You don't need to put gas in it.
No, only electricity.
Okay, well, I guess you're going to show me that it really does work.
Yep.
I'm sure there are skeptics out there that think that that's not a real thing.
No, this is real, Jay.
Those petrochemical junkies, you know,
That's
people
it.
that, you know, all they do is pump gas into their car day after day after day.
This is a clean machine.
All right, let's go for a ride. All right, electric cars. Well, so far it looks and feels like a car to me.
It's exactly the same as this gas-powered car in every way, Jay.
Mm-hmm. Great.
One exception, there's no gas motor in it.
No gas motor.
Right.
So we don't make smog.
So we make no smog, no pollutants whatsoever.
Uh-huh. It's got wipers. Hey.
It's got wipers, it's got everything. If you listen, it's
quiet.
the electric motor right there. Can you hear it? Barely. You can feel it more than you can hear.
Yeah, you can feel the vibration.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a manual shift, and it has clutch and brake, same as a conventional automobile. The driveline is the same as the factory made it.
How's the pickup?
It's adequate. As you can see, we're moving along.
Hey, it beats a K car.
It does.
Remember the K cars?
Oh, yeah. The RPM range isn't as high as a gas-powered car, so you're shifting through the gears a little bit quicker. But it has everything you need to drive the streets and do it safely.
What's the range on these things?
Well, from a single overnight charge, you can get about 60 miles, 50 to 60 miles. If you can what's called opportunity charge during the day, you can extend the range to maybe 100 miles. And that's if you're stopping off for lunch or you're going to work and you want to plug in someplace, pick up an added charge.
Well, that's going to be more and more common as time goes on. There'll be places to plug your car in.
Yeah, the infrastructure within the city right now is going to provide for a certain number of spaces in public and private sector parking with plugs available, and also parking meters with plugs available. Now you can see I'm in third gear right now, and we're doing what? We're doing about 40 miles an hour. So
yeah, we're moving along.
We're moving along. Yeah, this car will do 65 on the freeway without any problem at all.
Wow, that's great. So the myth that electric cars are clunky or not reliable is just that. It's a myth.
We just busted the myth, didn't we?
Tiene la luz para saber las cosas en la vida, luz para sentir un buen modo en tu vida. Así estamos nosotros, no se ve. Así estamos nosotros, no se ve.